Good morning, Peter and Lee.
Good morning, Amanda.
Morning.
How
Morning.
are you?
Great.
Good.
Good.
I have to tell you, I am one of the OG MacGyver fans. Um, my parents, I would be out playing outside, and my parents would open up a window and MacGyver would start, and that theme song, that epic, amazing theme song would start, and I would bolt inside that house and just stare at the TV and watch Richard Dean Anderson come to life. This is like a dream.
That's great. And not that unusual, actually.
I know. I am so excited to chat about this. So let's talk about MacGyver the musical. And Lee, let's start with you since you created MacGyver, basically. I mean, you were there from the beginning and it's your baby. Then we can talk to Peter about how it's turned into this fantastic musical. So
Sure.
Lee, let's start with you. When did you decide to turn MacGyver into a musical? Which I never
Well,
thought I'd say.
this idea actually, we really started almost a decade ago, kicking this idea around, Peter and I. And it came from the fact that, as you experienced, MacGyver was one of the few shows that the whole family would watch together. Generally, television divided the family. You know, dad liked to watch sports, and mom liked the dramas and the soap operas, and the kids liked the cartoons and the comedies. But when MacGyver came on, dad said, "Well, I want to see what he's going to do with all those stuff." And mom said, "He's really cute. He doesn't use a gun." And and the kids went, "Wait, you're going to watch a show together?" And we can watch with you. So I really wanted to create an experience that gave families and communities the opportunity to do it together. God knows we all sit and watch screens by ourselves all the time. And I thought, how do we do this? And then a dear friend of mine, who unfortunately is not with us anymore, said, "I know how you do this. You cast the lead role of MacGyver out of the audience in every performance." And I said, "You're crazy." And she said, "No, no, this can work." And sure enough, I grabbed hold of that idea. And Peter, when I first shared it with him, said, "You're crazy. This can never work." but but it does. So we have a little audition, 10-minute audition right before the show. We asked for volunteers. 3 or 4 people volunteered to be MacGyver. Doesn't matter what gender, what age. We've had everybody from 18 to 85-year-olds and every gender you can imagine. And then we make them act a line and sing a line and dance. And then by their applause, the audience decides who's going to be MacGyver that night. And then we start the show.
Okay, so this is a new dream unlocked because I'm also a musical theater person. So now I've just got to follow your guys' butts all over this country where y'all are having it. So I can play MacGyver at some point in
That's
time.
that's exactly right, Amanda. We will be waiting for you, but we're not the ones you have to impress. You got to convince the audience. So
All right, all right. So, Peter, when you got tasked with this, I mean, MacGyver is so epic, and I mean, I don't know, everyone knows how to MacGyver something, you know? I mean, it's just become part of the vernacular. Oh, you have a paper clip and a gum wrapper. Cool, we can save the world. What was it like trying to write lyrics for a musical that encompass all of this?
Well, first of all, it was a very slow process. The first thing I wrote, I believe actually the first demo was in 2011 of all things, was a version of the song that opens the CD. The music is it's been expanded, there's an intro and everything, but the music is largely unchanged. But initially I thought, oh, haha, this will be a big joke, and I'll just try and I know there's this audience member, let's have as much fun at his expense as, or his or her or their expense as we can. And so the first lyrics were very parody like and very and much sillier. And Lee was like, no, that's not what we're doing. We are not making fun of this person. We are having fun with them. We are being playful with it. And we are having fun with the concept of MacGyver, but we're taking what MacGyver represents very seriously. And that was really the key, because the fact is, you can do the parody thing for a song or two, but you can't really sustain an evening of theater on just, ha, this is all big goof, or
You
certainly
can't
not
do
the kind of.
Gruber the musical.
Exactly. I was staying away from the other. I was staying away from the other. And what happened was, and so look, it's been a crazy process. And here's the thing you should know: this is a full book musical with a full cast. You see, there's a very wide range of songs, and they are not simple little ditties. They're quite complex and hopefully emotionally interesting. And into that, the audience member is thrust reading their lines off cue cards, including making up the melody for an entire song. And so and it works. And none of us really knew how well it would work until we had a workshop production in Telluride, Colorado, right before like 5 minutes before the pandemic shut down. Yeah, exactly. And the first performance, as soon as that person walks out there, you see the audience is totally rooting for them, and that person becomes the audience on stage. It's been quite a ride. It's been so the answer is, it's been kind of like writing any other musical with this gigantic, enormous twist to it that complicates things in a really fun and interesting way.
I think that it is brilliant to bring someone up, because you're right. Everyone is rooting for them. They want them to succeed. They're going to be paying real close attention, because when you go see a play, you're like, oh, these are professional actors. And you're usually very engrossed, but also sometimes there's like gum that you need to get out of your purse. And you're like, I'm just going to look away for a second. But I feel like casting, Joe Blow from the audience, you're just going to be glued to watching it.
That's exactly right. So we actually have a person, Amanda, who we call McQ, who is there to lead the MacGyver audience member through the show. Okay. And when it's time for them to say a line, they have all the cue cards, and they hold the cue card up for the MacGyver person to read. And you would think, well, this would be incredibly distracting, having this person there on the stage all the time. After 10 minutes, Amanda, nobody sees that person anymore. You just see what the MacGyver person is going to do. So they like disappear. It's almost like a puppet show where, you just forget where, like, or ventriloquist dummy, you just forget that the person is putting their voice into the puppet. You go, I just can't wait to see what they're going to do next.
This is unbelievable. Go ahead, Peter.
So, spoiler alert, that the person does end up with a breakout song moment, which you can actually hear on the album. In the song You've Got You, that's the song that MacGyver makes up the melody for.
Really?
Although on the album it was a little bit, we had to do it a little bit differently. But the other thing that is really fascinating about this concept is that's really different, is the challenge it creates for the actors on stage,
yes,
who may be creating, having, and MacGyver is there almost the entire time. So in particular, Ingrid, who plays the lead of the punk band and has the biggest weight to carry in the show, is playing scenes where some nights she'll have a fantastic scene partner, and some nights she'll have barely any scene partner at all, and she has to find a way of making it work, and the unexpected. So everyone is on their toes all the time in this situation, in ways that exceed that of a traditional musical.
This literally sounds like my dream. Like, it is my dream. Gentlemen, this is my new dream. This is just so cool. So I was listening to a little bit of the album that was sent over, and I did not hear the original MacGyver music. Is that anywhere in
the original theme song? Unfortunately, Amanda, is not there, because that belongs to CBS and Paramount, and we don't have the rights to that. So you can hum it in your head, and maybe when we start going big in commercial, they will agree to let us use that song at some point, and we'll play it in the lobby on the way in and the way out.
Well, What's to say that when I get to play MacGyver, my breakout tune isn't to the theme song of MacGyver? I'm just saying.
See, here's the great thing about the law. You can do that, Amanda, and get away with it. If we do that, they take us to court and sue us. So, that's the way things work. But by all means, if you get cast as MacGyver, you can bust out a da 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 da. It's fine. It's just fine, okay?
This is the greatest.
You can bring like a whole 80s rock band. Oh, there's already an 80s rock band on stage. Never mind. So the other interesting thing this creates, of course, is there is inevitably a lot of spontaneity that happens, but one of the instructions that is given and reinforced is that actor playing MacGyver, they're not improvising any of the lines. They're supposed to read everything off a cue card. And sometimes there was one actually radio announcer, I think, who played in Houston, who sort of took it as starting to improvise, and they sort of gently said to him backstage, you're kind of throwing us off, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, and then he went right back in. But so it's sort of like a magician, we hope, where the volunteer is this element of randomness that is injected into what is hopefully a pretty tightly controlled environment, because after all, it is a theater and people have paid money and they want to see a professional show.
But what's great about it is when everything goes exactly as planned, it works great. But if the audience MacGyver makes a mistake and screws up, it goes even better. The audience seems to love it even more because it's like, oh yeah, this is real. So we've had them misread a line and the cast kind of freezes for a minute and they go, oh, did you mean to say? and as soon as that happens, the audience goes ballistic because it's like, yes, of course, they just screwed it up. It's perfect.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing. I can't wait to see it. Also, I have to say that We Are the Tools is probably my new favorite, little wander around and sing song. Because to anyone who doesn't know that it's from a musical about MacGyver, it's just greatest double entendre lyrics ever.
Thank you so much. And it's Where Are the Tools is sort of perfect example of where I try to live as a composer, because in the context of the show, so the show, the cast, the professional actors, it centers around this East German punk band. So they're East Germans, they speak their dialogue and accents. And so We Are the Tools is kind of something they think MacGyver has said, but they didn't quite get the English right. So if inevitably or most of the time, there's a laugh followed by, wait a minute, I'm actually feeling something, and that's exactly what I'm trying. That's kind of the place I like to live when possible as a songwriter. Always, like MacGyver My Heart, the same thing. There's
MacGyver My Heart.
It's hopefully a moving ballad, but then there's duct tape in it. So, trying to get people to embrace the playfulness and the emotion at the same time is the key.
So when does this go on national tour, and where do I have to go to break my way into this song? MacGyver my way into this song. I will MacGyver my way into this show.
All you have to do, Amanda, is invite 100 of your closest friends to applaud for you from the audience, and they'll go, oh, okay, the audience loves Amanda, so I guess she's MacGyver tonight. The answer to that question is we're just figuring that out. The best place to sort of stay with us on this is to just go to MacGyver.com/musical, because our focus after the world premiere in 2022 in Houston, Texas was, okay, now we're going to work on the album. Okay. And now that the album is coming out tomorrow, finally, knock on wood. Okay. The next step is to say, all right, where is the next city and where are we doing the next production? Because our goal is actually to have a bunch of these going around the country, maybe at the same time, because we think it's kind of the show that can work in places that are not New York or Los Angeles,
right?
Because there's MacGyver fans all over the world. So we will be working on that shortly, and we will, as soon as we have those details, they'll be on the MacGyver.com website. So
Are you going to license this for playhouses? I mean, I think that this is, I feel like this kind of a thing would work great for theater in the round and also for larger stages. Are you going to at some point be like, hey, would you like to play this in your town? Would you like to produce this in your town? Here's how you get the licensing.
Yes, at some point, I think down the road we will do that. But I think what we want to do is sort of start our
Yes,
own productions first, and then
absolutely.
kind of, like this is not designed to go to Broadway. Okay, this is designed to play in theaters, in venues all over the country. And Broadway, they do a show on Broadway, it's a big hit, and then they do a touring production, and then it plays in this town and this town and this town. This is a little different. This is like, we're going to try and have this going in a bunch of cities around the country, if not around the world, kind of simultaneously, and just see how long it lasts. And then at some point, obviously, then we will start licensing it to regional theaters and high school theaters and college theaters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I absolutely love this. When Michael told me that I got to be a part of this interview and I realized who I was going to be chatting with, I like did a very, very happy dance around in my house. I just think you guys are brilliant. Lee, you created something for generations of fans. And Peter, you are creating lyrics and music that is just so incredibly catchy and fun.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
it's kind of like You're in Town. You're in Town had that same kind of musical that it was like
I can
there were
see that.
some
Yeah.
really like heartfelt songs in it, but it was also about pee. Like it was, it's just, and I mean that as a high compliment. This is a
No, I
brilliant,
appreciate that.
brilliant
Although,
point on your part.
the slogan could be MacGyver the Musical. Come see us. We're not about pee. No, no, no. That's our new. You've given us our new slogan. Thank you.
I do what I can. No, you guys are brilliant, and I truly cannot wait to see this production. And I absolutely will be raising my hand to be MacGyver.
There you go.
Right.
Well, thank you, Amanda. We can't wait.
Oh, well, I just love you all to crazy, and I wish you all the best success. And I really hope that you're able to make it up my way at some point in time because we would just eat you up here.
Great.
So
Thank you.
thank you so
Take
much.
care of yourselves.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.